My never-ending quest to find the best brunch at Disney World has brought us back to Disney Springs, where we'll be dining at Wine Bar George for their weekend brunch. This is one of my favorite restaurants at Springs, but can they deliver for brunch? Let's go find out. You guys know, I love a good brunch. It's honestly the meal that Disney restaurants do best. And while I come to Wine Bar George all the time, it's usually for dinner or drinks. It's been a while since I've dined here for brunch. And since my last early morning visit, they've changed up the menu a bunch, and all of this food sounds incredible. And if it's anything like the dinner menu, I'm sure it's gonna taste incredible too. If you're wondering, this brunch is only available on Saturdays and Sundays from 10:30 to 2, and we're right on time. It's 11 a.m. Let's go get some brunch. Here we are outside on the upper level patio. Guys, I was really hoping for a table out here, but as I was standing downstairs, I was like, I don't know if there's any tables left. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get one, but to my surprise, I was actually brought up the stairs by George himself, Mr. Wine Bar George himself. And I got the very last table out here on the upper patio. So we're gonna have some amazing people watching going on. We're gonna be soaking in this beautiful weather. The weather here in Orlando has just been incredible this whole past week. I hope it sticks around. Wishful thinking, but it's gonna be a great brunch. Would you guys just look at this view? Look at what I'm looking at. We've got the hot air balloon that we'll soon see going up. We can see Cirque du Soleil peeking off in the distance. We've got a view of Gideon's, the hangar bar. Over here is the boathouse, all of these people, and here's our table. The only issue with this table here is that it might be too small for all of the food that I am about to order. We've got our water here, but we do have to scan our menu to see what we've got for drinks. I personally thought the era of scanning QR codes for menus was over, but I guess not here at Wine Bar George. There we go. Now usually, my go-to drink here at Wine Bar George is the Wake Up Call, their version of an espresso martini. It is my favorite espresso martini that I have ever had. It's my number one at Disney and my number one ever. I absolutely love it, but I was thinking the other day, I was like, you know what? I get the espresso martini literally every time I come here. Like, maybe it's time to kind of change it up and try something else. So let's scan through our options here. We'll click on the cocktails, beer, and frozen. It looks like they've got sangria, an American 75. That sounds kind of good. An old-fashioned, of course, the wake-up call. Yum. I don't know if I'm going to be able to resist, guys. They have the something scotch, a forbidden zombie. You can only get 2 per guest. Wow, that must be, oh, that's like a tiki drink, like a tiki zombie. Okay. They have this autumn drink, lingering dreams, which looks like just like a vodka cran. And they've got some non-alcoholics, some beers, and some frozen. I know the frozen drinks here are really popular. They have a Frozcato made with Dole Whip pineapple, a frosé, and then a frozen old-fashioned made with Dole Whip orange. So I don't know, I may ask my server what he recommends, because like I said, I've never tried any mixed drink here other than the Wake Up Call. So we'll see. If he does recommend the Wake Up Call though, I think that's a sign that I have to get it. Do you have any recommendations for drinks?
Are you looking for cocktails, wine, beer?
Probably a cocktail, a nice brunch cocktail.
So we could do a sangria for you. We have our Wake Up Call, which is kind of like an espresso martini. It's probably one of our biggest sellers. A lot of people do our frozen drinks, like the Frozcato, the pineapple flavored, kind of like a wine slushy. Got a little Prosecco on top of it, make it kind of a mimosa.
Okay, let's do that Frozcato. I feel like that's a good brunch drink.
Gotcha. And would you like that Prosecco on top of it and make it a mimosa? Kind of cuts the sweetness a tiny bit and adds a little bit more booze.
Is it extra?
Yeah, it's like $2.
Oh yeah, that's fine then.
Yeah. And did we have thoughts on food?
Not yet. I might need another minute with that.
Fine, let me grab
Thank you so much. All right. So he did recommend the sangria, which is apparently like a family secret recipe sangria. So I was tempted to try that. He recommended, of course, the Wake Up Call. I might have to get one after. But then he also recommended the Frozcato, and I know that's like a drink that a lot of people may like and be interested in trying. He said it's kind of like a mimosa. So I ultimately went with that, but like I said, I might get an espresso martini afterwards. So here we have the Frozcato made with Dole Whip pineapple. This has Moscato, vodka, and pineapple, and I added a floater of Prosecco on top. All right, let's try this out here. This definitely looks more liquidy than I had expected. Maybe it's from the Prosecco on top. That's probably it, but it doesn't look very frozen, which I actually like. I don't love frozen drinks. Let's give this a stir and incorporate that Prosecco from the top. Try it out.
And then the next time.
Honestly, guys, that is quite delicious. This had everything in it to make me not like this drink that much. I'm not the biggest fan of pineapple Dole Whip. Moscato, a little bit too sweet for me, and in general, I don't like frozen drinks. However, I really like this. Somehow, this drink isn't overly sweet. You guys know, I don't like sweet drinks. Some things are just too sweet for me. And I fully expected this to be too sweet, but I definitely think adding that Prosecco was the right move. He was right. It totally mellowed out the sweetness from the Dole Whip. And as soon as he said you could add that on top for only $2 extra, I was like, yeah, I'm all for it. If it's going to make this less sweet and more enjoyable, I'm in, and I definitely think that was the right move. As I said, I'm not the biggest fan of pineapple Dole Whip. I know, very, very shocking. It's a classic Disney snack. I just feel like the pineapple one is always too tart for me. I can't do it solo. I could do it if you swirl it with vanilla, but in general, I prefer the other flavors of Dole Whip. Mango Dole Whip is my favorite. I'd say coconut is a close second. I like the orange Dole Whip. I really like the watermelon Dole Whip. Pineapple would be on the very, very bottom of my Dole Whip favorite flavor list. But it really works in here. I mean, Wine Bar George, you have impressed me yet again. I shouldn't be surprised. I just love this restaurant. And this drink is delicious. I would 100% get it again. Now, if you did want to try this drink out, you can get it from the basket, I believe. I'm pretty sure you could get it from the walk-up quick service kind of grab-and-go stand right below me. Actually, I think they serve it to go. I'm 99% positive. So if you did want to try this out and you didn't want to fully come in here, you could get it to go and walk around Springs with it, which would honestly be really perfect on a warm day. And another thing that's surprising me, the reason I don't like frozen drinks that much is because usually the second I take a sip of a frozen drink, I get an instant brain freeze. And I don't have one yet. And I've drank quite a bit of this here because I was really, really getting into it. I really liked it. And no brain freeze yet. So maybe that's in part due to the fact that it's not fully frozen and it is more liquidy. But yeah, I'd get it again. And now that we're all set and enjoying our drink here, let's take a look over the brunch menu, the Wine Country Brunch. All right, we've got some, what is that? That's wines. I was like, what is that? I didn't see that on the menu on the app. Okay, so our starters, some hummus, the crispy mac and cheese bites, a seasonal salad, warm spiced olives, a Dippy Egg. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. They also have their charcuterie boards, and their regular charcuterie board and cheese board are fantastic. I think it's honestly, it might be the best all-around charcuterie board at Disney World. But they also have this brunch board. Oh my gosh. That's something I have never seen before. There's a bunch of different breakfast, I guess, dishes on there and some cheese as well. And then for our main plates, there's a fried chicken biscuit, steak and eggs, burrata, that's a main, sausage gravy and biscuits, a wine country omelet, pastrami smoked salmon, stuffed French toast, a seared porchetta sandwich, and then they have some desserts and also some sides down here too. The last time I was here for brunch, which was actually my first and only other time coming to Wine Bar George for brunch, I ended up getting the fried chicken biscuit, and I remember liking it. I think I liked it. I did film it. It was one of my very early on YouTube videos, but I think I enjoyed it. I know my friend Sean I was here with, he enjoyed his steak and eggs. We really liked a lot of the food, but like I said, things have changed since I have last been here. So we're gonna try a bunch of the new things. And I figured, what better way to start our meal than with the $30 brunch board? So this is kind of like a charcuterie board, but for breakfast. And I have personally never seen anything like this on a menu, so I had to try it out.
Aged manchego out of La Mancha, Spain. La Mancha is located right in the center of Spain.
Pasteurized sheep's milk. It's going to be a little on the more tart side of Manchego cheeses. I have a 24-month aged sharp white cheddar called Barber's coming out of the United Kingdom. Nice, standard, typical British cheddar. In your face, super smooth aftertaste. Pork sausage. We have pork belly that we prepare in-house.
Ooh.
House-made hash browns. They are shredded, but we do form them into our pucks. We have maple-dusted chicharrones that we fry in-house as well. Sourdough toast, roasted Marcono Spanish almonds, sweet fig jam, and an orange blossom honey come out of Savannah Bee Company, located right here in the Springs.
Looks delicious, thank you. Well, we've gotten a full rundown of everything that is on this board, so I figured it's time to start digging in, and the first thing that I have to try are these little hash brown patties here. I can already tell this is going to be super crispy. Listen to this crunch. The best way to describe this is like a McDonald's hash brown, except more oniony, and maybe a little bit more oily as well. There's a lot of oil in here, but tastes delicious. I got a lot of onion flavor, which I really love, and it's probably better than McDonald's hash brown too. Although nothing wrong with McDonald's hash browns. They are delicious. And the more I'm kind of eating it, the more I'm realizing this kind of reminds me a lot of like a potato latke, like a potato pancake, because of all that onion flavor. Yep, it's really good. I gotta try one of these maple dusted chicharrones next. I don't think I've ever had a sweet chicharrone, so today's the day. I think that is the best chicharrone I've ever had. I don't know if they're like making these in-house or if they're like frying up the pork skin on their own, or maybe they're just buying the plain chicharrones and then dusting them with that maple flavoring. And let me just be clear, I don't love the taste of like maple necessarily. Like sometimes it's just a little too much for me is what I mean, but it like works. That is so weird, but so good. And I think I enjoy it so much because it is still salty. Like it's not overly sweet. It's more salty even than sweet. It's just like the slightest hint of that mapley sweetness. Guys, this brunch board so far, I'm loving it. Next, I want to get into the breakfast meat. So we've got some breakfast sausage here. Cut a little piece off. It's got some nice grill marks on it. Some nice little sausage pucks. Yeah, that grill flavor is very prevalent. It adds such a great flavor to this sausage. That's like the game changer with this sausage here. If they didn't grill it, it'd be good. But since they're grilling it, it's great. Well, yet another thing that has not let me down. We're going for this candied pork belly here next, and this looks so good. The charring that is on this looks incredible. I'm just kind of trying to cut it apart, and I can tell that it's like super fatty, which will be really, really good. As soon as I put my fork into it, I can tell it was crisp as well. This is amazing. Every single thing that I have tried on this brunch board, absolutely love it. This pork belly, oh my God. Again, it's like not too sweet, so it's perfect. They've really figured out how to balance the sweetness in the drinks, in all of the food that we've tried here, because nothing is too sweet, which again is just perfect for me. And man, this pork belly, this might be the best thing on this board so far. Oh my God. The fat just like melts in your mouth, and I guess you could kind of like build a sandwich with everything you've got here, because they've got us some sourdough here. I believe this is probably the same sourdough that they serve with the burrata dish that I used to get all the time. I want to load some of this fig jam on here. Side note, the fig jam that they have at Wine Bar George, I don't know if they're making it in-house or they're purchasing it pre-made, but whatever brand it is or whatever, it's amazing. And we're gonna go for this one. I think he said it was like an extra sharp cheddar, which I love. Super, super sharp cheeses. That combo, my mouth is literally watering. That combo is so good. The fig jam, the sourdough, you can just tell everything on this board here is made with such quality ingredients. Like this is a quality sourdough paired with a quality fig jam, paired with this quality super sharp cheese. It's sharp, but it's still like a little bit soft. Oh my God, look, see, I just tried to put the fig jam on it and it just like broke apart, man. This is amazing. Some Marcona almonds, and again, I love the Marcona almonds here. They have this on the regular board. So good. And then we've got some manchego here. And I'm gonna use some of the honey to put on top of it. The honey that they're using is actually from the Savannah Bee Company, which is literally like right there. I can almost see it. It's right behind Gideon's. So I love that they're kind of incorporating another Disney Springs business into this brunch board. You guys, if you're coming to Wine Bar George for brunch, you must get this. It's such a fun thing to like share as well, and it kind of reminds me a lot. Have you guys seen on TikTok those like bodybuilders and stuff like eating off of wooden cutting boards and just kind of like putting a bunch of breakfast things that don't necessarily seem like they belong together on a board? I mean, it's a random assortment of food on this board here, I will admit, but I love it. Everything is so delicious. I don't think I would be able to come to Wine Bar George for brunch and not get this next time. Well, I'm just enjoying the last couple bites of my brunch board here. Last couple sips of my Frozcato. Yum. I'm gonna package the rest of this brunch board up, and then we're gonna get into some more of the food. We've got a lot more coming. And oh my gosh, guys, I wasn't joking around. Look at this spread. I had to get a side of the biscuits. Oh my God. Are you joking? Do you guys see that biscuit? This is like the most beautiful biscuit. I can't take my eyes off of it. It looks so good. And then we've got the French toast here, the stuffed French toast. Oh, and then the Dippy Egg. Oh my God. Guys, like, I am not joking around. This looks incredible. What the heck? This looks so good. Maybe we'll go with the egg dish here first. This is the Dippy Egg. It has soft-boiled eggs, carrot and goat cheese puree, a chorizo jam, and sourdough spears for $10. The description does say eggs. I'm only seeing one soft-boiled egg. It honestly looks more like even like poached egg there. Maybe that's because of the recent egg issues. You know, I went to Waffle House the other day and they charged me 50 cents extra per egg. Whatever. Let's try this egg here. I have always wanted to try something like this. I've seen it on TikTok. What is it called? It's called like eggs and crew CR something. But this reminds me a lot of it. It's a little bit different because I think those ones, they have something else in them. But this carrot and goat cheese puree on the bottom should be really good. We'll grab our sourdough here and let's break that yolk. Oh my gosh. The color of the yolk is the same as that carrot puree there, the carrot and goat cheese puree. We've got to get some of that on there. Oh man, guys, this looks so good. Unfortunately, I think my eyes have deceived me with this one. It looks great, but it doesn't taste great to me. The carrot puree on the bottom, it's like that sweet, it's like sweet, but then it also tastes like it's been blended with some turmeric and maybe some curry powder as well. It tastes like some type of turmeric and curry. And I thought the color of this was just coming from the carrots, but I feel like the turmeric, I feel like there's turmeric in there, is kind of adding to that color. I love goat cheese, and I don't taste any goat cheese at all in here. The chorizo also gets a little lost, as does the egg. The only thing I'm really tasting is the carrot puree. It tastes like a carrot soup. You know what it tastes like? A couple weeks ago, I went to Skipper Canteen, and I had like a carrot ginger soup as my appetizer, and I didn't care for it, and this tastes so similar to that. Okay, so I was just Googling what I thought this was gonna be more like. It's from a place called Egg Slut. They have a specialty called a slut. It's a cage-free coddled egg on top of a smooth potato puree, poached in a glass jar, topped with gray salt and chives, served with slices of baguette. So I thought it was kind of gonna be more like that, more of like a creamy, I don't know. I've seen that on TikTok and stuff for years. And that's more of what I was expecting. Kind of sad because I really wanted this to be good because I've always wanted to try something like this, like a poached egg in a glass jar. I'll have to make it at home. I think you can make it if you just like get a ramekin and like crack an egg in there and like put some cream and like some like feta cheese and stuff. I think that's how you could do it too. But I wasn't expecting this carrot turmeric curry flavor. Bread is really good. Not so much on this, but I know exactly what won't let me down. This French toast here. This is the stuffed French toast. It's a brioche with coconut cream and a rum caramel for $19. And I do believe they often change up the stuffing accoutrements of this stuffed French toast. I think I've seen some different variations of it, but this one sounds really good to me. And I always used to say, I'm not like the biggest fan of French toast, but then I kept ordering it at restaurants around Disney because they have a lot of like unique, different kinds of flavors of French toast. And I kept ordering it. And I'm like, you know what? I actually like French toast, so I don't know why I keep saying I don't. Maybe I didn't like French toast back in the day, but I do now, and this one looks good. And to give you an idea of just how large this slice of French toast is, it's legit the size of my hand. Like, this is a huge piece of French toast. It is like a $20 piece of French toast, so I personally feel like they should have given you maybe a side of bacon or sausage, maybe even just like 2 of those sausage patties that we got with our brunch board. You know, I think that would go a long way, because $20 for just, I mean, this is a thick, a huge slab of French toast, but I feel like they should include maybe a little bit of a breakfast meat in there for 20 bucks. I'm going for like an extra dunk to get more of that rum caramel. This is pretty damn good, but oh my god, this is like a huge, this is a dessert. This is not a breakfast dish. This is a full-on dessert. Getting a little hint of like salt. Maybe they sprinkled some flaky sea salt on top, which I always love some sea salt on a sweet dish. I was a little bit worried because it doesn't look like there's that much caramel, and they didn't give me syrup. So I was like, it looks like it might be a little bit dry because it is such a thick slab of French toast. Like, you know how you get the Tonga toast over at the Polynesian? And that thing is like a brick. That thing is like literally like that huge. And it's always so dry to me, no matter how much kind of the strawberry sauce and stuff I put on top. It's always just a little bit dry, so I was worried that would be the case here, especially without the syrup. It is not the case at all. This coconut cream is out of this world. From the coconut cream, I was expecting more of like, you know, a whipped cream. That's not the case at all. Think like creme brulee custard. It tastes like creme brulee in there, which that would be a good French toast. Oh my gosh, if they did this and they sprinkled some sugar and bruleed it on top. Wine Bar George, if you're listening, and you want to take my idea, I wouldn't be mad because I think that would be really good, but man, this French toast is delicious. You will not be able to eat this whole thing though, so come and get it as like a dessert and share it up, but my mom would love this. Sorry, Mom, you're not here today, but you would love this, and I know she would be really mad about the $20 price tag, but she would also say, all right, it's really good, because it is. And I was thinking there might not be like enough of that coconut cream in the inside. Are you kidding me? This thing is absolutely stuffed to the brim all the way back. I was like, oh, they've got it all in the front. It's all just kind of oozing out of the French toast. Nope, it goes all the way back. There is no lack of coconut cream here, which is amazing because it's got to be the best part of this. I mean, it's all really good, but the coconut cream, man, I would literally eat this like as a dessert, just like a cup of this coconut cream here. This is so impressive. I thought I was going to eat a couple bites and take the rest home with me. That's not the case. That coconut cream, unreal. It's also not like overly coconutty either. It's the slightest hint. It's like done so right. If you're coming to Wine Bar George, I said it with the brunch board, I'll say it with the French toast. Must try. Someone's gonna have to come and pry this French toast out of my hands, but we still have one more thing to try. These are the house-made buttermilk biscuits. For 2 of them, it did cost me $8. And I mean, guys, come on. These biscuits These look like the best biscuits I will ever eat in my entire life. They are pretty large. These are some big biscuits, but look at that like crispness at the top and also at the bottom. And you can just see the layers in this biscuit here. This is also served with 2 accoutrements. I am assuming this is honey, and I am assuming this is some type of salted butter, and you can see the flaky salt on there. I'm gonna get confirmation on that in just a moment. Before I do, I wanna try out this biscuit on its own. Let's break off a piece here. Oh my gosh, this is so dense. It's like a sturdy biscuit. I can barely rip it apart. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Let's try the top piece here. This is unlike most other biscuits because it is so dense, you know? Like, it's not like buttery and kind of flaky and layery like it looked like it was gonna be. I love the crispness from the top and also the inside. Like I said, it's like almost like a ball of dough. Like, it's very, very doughy. Not to say it's not good, because it's really good, but I guess it's just not what I was expecting. All right, confirmed. This is honey, and then this is some salted butter here. So let's load our next bite of biscuit up with some of this butter. Oh, that's a little bit too much there. I like a lot of butter, but even that's a lot for me. And then some honey as well. I would assume that this is from the Savannah Bee Company too, because the honey from the brunch board we had earlier was. I have a feeling this is going to make it even better. For sure. I mean, this salted butter is amazing. It's so thick. I'm assuming it's hand whipped butter with that flaky salt on top. It's so thick. In fact, it almost looked more like a buttercream frosting than it actually did like a salted butter. The honey is really good with it. It's a good combo on that biscuit. I do like it. It's just not your typical biscuit. And they're not just whipping up these homemade biscuits here to serve as a side. You can also get the biscuits with biscuits and gravy that they're serving up for brunch. And they also have like a fried chicken biscuit that I was talking about earlier that I tried. I didn't realize the quality of the biscuit when I got it in the fried chicken biscuit. I thought it was just, you know, a typical biscuit. But turns out the quality is definitely a lot higher. And I'm not sure. We talked about the, what is it called? The basket. The walk-up window downstairs earlier. I feel like it's maybe a missed opportunity. I don't know if they're doing this if they're serving like breakfast sandwiches on these biscuits. Like a bacon, egg, and cheese or a sausage, egg, and cheese on these biscuits here. That would be really, really good. A good like grab and go kind of breakfast to grab. I don't know. Wine Bar George, I'm giving you guys all these ideas, so feel free to take them, but I feel like this is like the perfect biscuit for a breakfast sandwich because it's so dense that it wouldn't like kind of fall apart. You know how like when you get a breakfast sandwich on a biscuit, the biscuit kind of just crumbles sometimes. I feel like these would be the good sturdy biscuit that a breakfast sandwich needs. I don't know. I'm certainly going to take these home and do that myself. So I'll let you guys know how that is because I know you guys always like to see. Here's the check. That Prosecco floater was an extra $2 worth it in my opinion. I did get a 10% annual pass discount. A total $82.34 plus tip, of course. And also I want to point out, this is way more. I would never obviously order all of this food if I wasn't coming to make a video. So don't expect to spend this much for brunch if you're for like one person. Like this is just an excessive amount because I wanted to show you guys as much as possible. Well, brunch at Wine Bar George was super cozy this morning and I don't want to give up this view. I've enjoyed it so much. Really, the weather couldn't be any better for this kind of thing. Brunching outside at Disney World can't be beat. Well, to no surprise, brunch at Wine Bar George was absolutely delicious. I feel like that restaurant gives off such great brunch vibes. I feel like it's like a great place for brunch and I feel like it's super underrated. You know, everyone's going to the Boathouse, to Homecoming, to Raglan Road for brunch. No one's really talking about Wine Bar George's brunch, but I'm telling you, you should definitely add it to your list. I really enjoyed pretty much everything that I tried today, everything except for that Dippy Egg, which is so surprising because I really thought that was going to be my favorite thing of the day. And we tried some really great food, from the brunch board to the French toast. Oh my my gosh, that was so good. To the biscuits and even the Frozcato. I really enjoyed a lot of it. I did skip a lot of my favorites. The espresso martini, obviously. We talked about that. The crispy fried mac and cheese bites. You can also get them on the brunch menu, and that is my favorite food to eat in all of Disney World. I feel like I've drank that espresso martini and eaten those fried mac and cheese bites in so many of my videos already, so I decided to skip them today. But I definitely want to go back to Wine Bar George really soon because there's a couple things I want to do over there. I've never been for lunch, and they have like some sandwiches for lunch. For dinner, it's mainly like small bites, appetizers, and then like big shareable kind of entrees. I think they have like a steak, a chicken one, and maybe like a seafood one. But for lunch, they have like smaller lunch entree sized sandwiches, like a porchetta sandwich, a couple of other things that I really want to get into. So I want to go back for lunch soon. And another thing I want to do is a wine tasting. They do like a wine pairing with George himself, who is a sommelier, and he kind of lets you sample a bunch of different wines. You get some food included with that. It looks really, really fun. So who knows? Maybe a Wine Bar George lunch and wine tasting video coming soon. But for now, thank you guys so much for brunching with me. Shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for the support. If you don't already and you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.